beetles of the eastern pine. It's works really well because it makes cool white smoke and it's free. Depending on where you live, you just use whatever you can. You can buy expensive smoker fuel packets, and I'm like, why would I do that? No, it's not. And this thing will puff and will burn me if I'm not careful. There we go. This is a very simple mechanism. This is a bellows, as you can see. Right here is a hole. And, sorry, right on the bottom is a hole. This is the intake hole. But the exhale hole is down here, and it goes right into the bottom of the smoker. So I want to get it nicely lit, get it cranking so it doesn't stop on me right when I need it, although I don't think I'm going to need a lot. Now I'm going to get myself suited up. Does somebody want to help keep this going? Sure. Just puffing it a little bit, not too much, just so it doesn't die. I wear protection not because these bees are going to come out and sting me, but because it makes me feel more comfortable. There's 20 to 60,000 worker bees in a hive. Those are all females. A beekeeper always works the hive from behind. This is their flight path right where you are, so they could bump into you. The smoke, for an unknown reason, makes them run into their hive and start eating their honey to be ready for anything. It takes their mind off of defending their hive. Scientists nowadays think that's because it's messing up the pheromone that needs to be circulating that the queen emits in the hive. People used to think it's because they were afraid of fire, so we don't actually know what they're thinking in their little bee brains. There's usually a line of guard bees at the entrance, which is why you always start by smoking the entrance a little bit. And then we're going to go in. My purpose is a beekeeper always needs to know exactly why they're opening the hive, what they're looking for. I'm going to be looking in these top 3 boxes to see how much nectar and stuff they're bringing in, because I want to make sure that they have enough space. This is the top cover. I put it this way and I see how many bees. I see there's some bees there, but it's not like they're bubbling out in a very, very full way, so that's good. The reason I need the hive tool is because they collect tree resin and they make propolis, which is also called bee glue, which seals every crack. It's kind of like the tar and the pitch that people used to use on boats. Makes everything waterproof and seals all the cracks. The inner cover, I'm just going to lean right against here. The top is the back, so I remember. Okay, I'm just looking through here, and I'm going to see, this is some honeycomb. I'm going to look right in the middle and see what I can see. I'm expecting a lot of nectar, hopefully. But completely empty. That has been in for about 2 or 3 weeks. So this is still empty. I'm going to go. I want to get her out of this. She does not like that fur. Yeah. Let's see, I'm going to go in this way. Oh, a swarm, yes. I would love to have a swarm move into that hive right there. Okay, once again, plenty of bees on here. And here we see the nectar. Do you see that glistening nectar? That is very fresh nectar. In the cells, it's glistening. It's kind of shiny. Do you see the shininess? Everybody see that shiny nectar? It's better on this side, I think.
So like from the flower?
Yep, they're packing the nectar in from the flowers. It's about 85% water. So if you just would store the nectar, which is 85% water and a little sugar, what would happen? What happens if you store at 92 degrees inside the hive? It would ferment. It would make lovely mead, nectar mead. So that's why they have to turn it into honey. They're evaporating the water down to 15%. All right, so they are putting nectar. I see them also on these other frames, which is good. I have noticed that in these hives, they tend to work from this side to that side. So that's why in the middle, there wasn't very much yet. Let's take a look over here. Maybe this will be completely empty again. Yep, you can see there's not as many bees on here. This is the west side, so this is warmer in the afternoon. That's probably why. And you can see here, you know, I can see a couple of cells starting with the nectar. Just a couple. So they still have a little room here, but in a week or two, this is going to be packed full. We have the Russian olive blooming very strongly right now, which is a huge source of nectar. We have the tulip poplars are in bloom. The locusts are coming up. So bees get more than you would think from trees. I can tell by the weight that this does not have a lot of nectar or honey in it yet. Now this one is full of bees. Wow. This one I can see even just from looking in here, they have been fixing up the honeycomb. Fresh honeycomb, fresh beeswax is almost white, and the youngest bees squeeze it out of their very bodies between their scales. They squeeze it out. It's 92 degrees in the hive. They keep it very warm. And then they build a tube out of it that exactly fits their body. Look at that fresh honeycomb. That is a beautiful thing. When you push together a collection of squishy tubes, they make hexagons on their own. It's the laws of physics. You can Google it. Soap bubbles do the same thing. Look at that glistening nectar. That is what is blooming right now.
Where is the queen?
She is hopefully in the bottom. She is busy laying eggs. Bees like to organize their supplies and their thing. Again, glistening nectar. They are definitely starting to fill this up. This is great. This is looking absolutely beautiful. The queen is laying up to 2,000 eggs a day down here in the brood nest, and they will build the pollen right around the brood nest and the honey around that, and then up and up and up as far as they can go. So that's why I'm very happy to see all this nectar up here. They're following a good pattern. Oh, that is much, much heavier. That box is getting full of nectar, so they do need more space. This is the box I'm most interested in. I gave them a box because we like to sell a little bit of cut honeycomb, the honey right in the comb, to people in August when we harvest the honey. So I gave them an entire box with no honeycomb in it, just frames. And I want to see, these were completely empty. So this is, well, they were empty with foundation. Here you can see perfectly. I gave them that, which is the flat foundation, and on this side is what they have been building. I gave them foundation so that they would fill in the corners, and they have been building those cells to put the honey in. That is all I really need to see, but I'm tempted because so many of you are here to go further down and see if I can find a frame with some brood. I'm going to tell you what to expect there. So far we've only seen nectar being put in and new honeycomb being built. But down here there will be frames where the actual queen has laid eggs. They have hatched into little white worms called larvae, one larva, many larvae, and then the worker bees feed them. Once the larvae are big enough, they cover the cells up And inside there, they turn into baby bees, just like other insects do in their cocoons. Then they hatch, and then they fly out and become first nurse bees and doing wax and cleaning things. And as they get older, they can finally graduate to becoming forager bees, the ones that you are seeing here. I'm going to take out 1 or 2 frames. We'll see how the bees are behaving, and we'll see if we can see a little bit of brood. So this one is my cut comb. I'm going to put this on here as well. So this should be the top of their brood nest. I'm going to clean the top bar. I'm going to smoke a little bit. The brood looks different than the honey or the nectar. It looks beige and a little bit elevated. This is a frame with a lot of drone brood. Drones are the males. There's only a few hundred drones in here. Drone brood, the cells are a little bigger because the drones are bigger. Yes. Yes, this is the brood. All right, we can see some interesting things here. This on my right hand is some old honey. This that is kind of dark and covered is old honey that's been stored. But on this side, I'm going to turn it over. I don't want to drop it. And I certainly is some brood. That is some drone brood. It's sticking out. Those drones are a little bigger. I can see some drones. There's some nectar here, some glistening nectar. And there's some honey. And I'm hoping that the queen is not on here. I'm not seeing her because we don't want to be dropping her and having the hive lose her. I'm going to go over on this side, see if we can see any larvae or anything. I don't see any brood here, just nectar.
Wait, so nectar is before honey?
Yes, nectar is the watery liquid straight from the flowers. You can see a lot of it here. And they're closing it up here. These cappings, they've already finished turning it into honey. Turning it over. All right, so no brood here. So she's probably still, oh, I see a little bit of pollen. Right here on this side, on my left, a couple of cells of yellow pollen. You see that? So that might mean that there's brood down below. And you can also see the kind of rainbow pattern they make. They tend to put the nectar on the outside, the pollen on the inside, and the brood down below. So I think that probably the whole bottom box is full of brood. I don't feel like going any further down. I don't want to disrupt them. They say that every time you go into a hive, it sets them back a few days. So I'm just going to leave it at that because I saw what I needed to see, which is that they are in fact filling up very nicely. They're even making the cut comb. And so I'm going to put on a whole nother super of empty comb. In recent days when I've looked, I've been checking whether they've been bringing in more nectar or more pollen, and it's been almost all nectar. Pollen, you can see when they will have their little back legs will have very bright spots of yellow or orange, and sometimes you can see one coming in with that, with those two little dots. This is my new box. I'm putting it on. It's very light. And I will try not to crush these bees. No. The pollen is their protein food. That's what they use to feed their larvae. The nectar is their energy food. The other thing I've been looking for is, I've seen several times in the morning especially, a whole flock of bees hovering in front of the hive looking at it, not flying in and out like there are now. Those are the not quite newly hatched. After they hatch, they spend a while inside doing domestic chores, cleaning and stuff until they grow big and strong enough. Then when they graduate and they mature and they want to go out and forage, the first thing they have to do is orient themselves. They memorize the landmarks, they imprint where the hive is so that they can, no matter if they fly 2 or 5 miles away, they can find the hive back again. There we go. That is their new space. So now hopefully they will not feel the need to swarm or divide, where half of them leave with the old queen and the other half stays with the new queen they've made. We don't know how they decide to do that, but they do. All right, put the outer cover back on and we'll be done. All righty.
So much, that was amazing.
You are welcome. Thank you for your interest. I just love talking about the bees, and the bees I think like being loved and talked about, so wish us well.